All right. Hello to you all. This is Oscar Terrazas, and I normally don't put out a political video, but in this case, I do send out emails to a select group, and they said, "Hey, we need to put this out. I think it's a good idea." So here we go. And the presentation that I'm going to make is semi-religious. If you look up my channel on YouTube, it's Oscar John Terrazas. And my email is o.terrazas@comcast.net. I'll show that on the first slide. And I'm asking that you forward it to others. Share this, have others look at it, because my email list is only about 150 people. And I think it's an important message to get out. So here we go. Let's get right into it. And let me share my screen. And here we go. All right. So we're talking about Assembly Bill 957 in the state of California. You can actually look it up on their website, the California State Legislature. And they recently amended the child safety law to include gender identity. That's the big story right now that's going on. And so I'm going to cover that part of it, the gender identity situation. So here we go. And so now the California Attorney General, Mr. Bonta, Rob Bonta, was accused of lying after he claims parental notification policy but puts children in harm's way. Well, this is actually the answer to a previous post out there by Fox News and Los Angeles Times, and all these other papers picked it up. I put one link there for you in the middle. But basically it's this. Under the child safety laws, the added law, this is an amendment to AB 957, is to protect children in the custody battles from parents that do not accept the child's gender identity. The parent that accepts the gender identity of the child is favored over the other parent. So let's get down to it. What it means is that if a child is a boy but says he's a girl, he's a transgender, and one parent says, yeah, I'm all for it, and the other parent says, no, I'm not for it, they're probably going to give the child to the one that's for it in order to support the transgender identity child. Okay, so I'm going to go sideways. I'm not going to get into judging of this, and I'm going to go sideways, so hopefully you'll stick around for the presentation here. So this is what it's all about. And there on the top of this slide, what I put was when it was introduced, the amendment was introduced, and the actual amendment in the first 3 paragraphs reads like this. Existing law governs the determination of child custody and visitation in contested proceedings and requires the court, for the purposes of deciding custody, to determine the best interests of the child based on certain factors, including, among other things, the health, safety, and welfare of the child. This bill, for purposes of this provision, would include a parent's affirmation of the child's gender identity or gender expression as part of the health, safety, and welfare of the child. This bill would incorporate additional changes to Section 3011 of the Family Code proposed by Senate Bill 599 to operate only if this bill and SB 599 are enacted, and this bill is enacted last. Okay, so what's going on here? I'm not in a custody battle for my children. But what now has happened is that other minor administrators have turned this around, as what usually happens. And now there was an article posted, California passes bill requiring parents to affirm kids' gender transitions. Why is everybody excited about this? Well, basically because if a child is in school and says, a boy says, you know what, I think I'm a girl, or I'm not sure what I am. Number one, they want to keep it from the parents. It's a secret to the school. The school is keeping secret from the parents. And I'll tell you why in just a little bit. So the school is keeping secrets from the parents, and it's law. Well, now they went and basically supported this concept and put into law that even in custody battles, if a parent does not support the transition of the child can now be taken away from the parent. That's right, removed from the house. And in a custody battle, given to the other parent. But what if both parents are against it? Well, the child, I guess, would be put into foster care. But this was reported by the Daily Signal, Fox News, other things. And it was mostly meant for custody battles. But now it's being picked up by people saying, no, now all parents must support the transgenderism of the child. So the email that I sent out to the people that I have on my list, I labeled it "The Door Swings Both Ways." In other words, the law protects both. A parent can affirm heterosexuality. Well, if a parent can affirm transsexuality, then a parent can affirm heterosexuality, along with all the other LGBTQ plus things going on. So this is one of the things that now got people puzzled as to how far it can go. Well, Attorney General Bonda showed how far it can go. In California, Chino Valley Unified School District said, no, we're not going to keep it a secret from parents. Parents should know if their child has transgendered or announced transgenderism or making a change in their life. And so they passed a policy in Chino Valley Unified that no, parents should be notified. District Attorney Bonda says, how dare you? So what he did was he's now suing the school district and saying, no, you can't do that. We passed the law, AB 957, in which the schools can keep it a secret. But has now Mr. Bonda opened up a can of snakes? Not worms, snakes. Because the door can swing both ways. So here we go. What can you do something either way? Can you do something either way? Well, technically you can. You can talk to your child and declare their sexual identity. So if a boy says he's a boy, a girl says it's a girl, otherwise, write it down, date it, sign it, present the letter to your child, to the school administration, and declare their sexuality and file the letter with the school. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, because if your child changes their mind, or the school notifies you or not notifies you of an identity change, you could have grounds for a lawsuit. Because now you could say, hey, look, I told you what my child said. I told you, I wrote it down, I wrote a letter, I brought the child down to the administration and declared it in front of you. Someone now has confused him or her and at the school. And it's your guy's fault, not mine. You think I'm kidding? Watch this. So if a child, a student, declares to be heterosexual, a boy is a boy, a girl is a girl, to the school, and it is known that the parents, whatever gender they are, support LGBTQ thinking, is the child being placed in danger by sending the child home? Because that's exactly Mr. Bonta's argument, that if a child is transgender and the parents are not accepting, you're putting the child in danger and the child can be removed from the home. Okay, let's reverse it. The door swings both ways. What if the child says, I'm heterosexual, but my mom is not? Should we remove the child from the mother who is LGBTQ? The law has to be equal. Number two, if parents or guardians who support LGBTQ thinking try and change the thinking of a child after the child is declared to the school that they are heterosexual, and the parents want the child to affirm a different orientation, does the school have a right to take away the child and calling CPS, Child Protective Services, as child safety. After all, the child now is in danger. Somebody might talk the child out of their transgenderism, out of their heterosexuality. I won't be long. 3, does a mandated reporter, and I taught in the school system for 7 years, which is teachers and administrators, and if they are told of the heterosexual status of a child, and knowingly that child is going home to an LGBTQ home, should they believe the child is in danger of being charged? Because I, as a teacher, if I know there's a danger to the child, if I see bruises on a child, if I see mental stress on a child, I should report them as a mandated reporter, and I take classes for it and all this other stuff, and I have to report it and actually make a report and possibly even call the law in because I feel the child is in danger. Well, if the child claims they're heterosexual and the parents are not, are they in danger? After all, it works the other way. Number 4, could the school and district have the legal right to investigate the sexual status of each student's home? How are we going to know? Well, the only way to know is to investigate. So is the school district going to investigate every single home and say, well, what's it like here? Are you guys LGBTQ or not? I mean, admit it. Should the school district and CPS then move children around to parents and guardians to match the sexual declaration of the child to the parents? Well, yeah, you find out a kid is transsexual. Well, you don't want them going into a heterosexual home. So let's pull them out and let's go find parents that are equally transgender, right? Are they going to do that? Considering there's 9 million students in California? Do parents have to declare up front if they're pro-LGBTQ or not as they register their student? I mean, that's the only way you're going to find out. All right, parents, you're registering your kid. What persuasion are you, so that when this child says there's something, we know whether they're in danger? It works. 5, how often should teachers, school administrators, district administrators check on the sexuality orientation of a student? Weekly? Monthly? Yearly? Come here, student. This week, how do you feel? I'll check on you in a couple of weeks. In a couple of weeks. Okay, now how do you feel? In a month. Okay, now how do you feel? Should we be changing it back and forth and back and forth? Pull them out of their house, put them back in their house, pull them out of their house, put them back in their house. Since a student's declaration must be taken at face value, non-medical staff, such as teachers and administrators, could have a possible medical decision. A child cannot be subjected to the school medical staff. You have to accept whatever the child says. Boom, that's it. They're transgender, they're transgender. They say they're heterosexual, that's it. But if something goes wrong with that student, are the teachers, administrators, and school district now responsible for the child's medical results? Can a parent then sue the school district for their actions? And that's exactly what happened. There's the headline. A mother found out she wasn't told that her young 12 or 13-year-old girl thought now she was transgender and a boy, only to change it later. And they started giving her actual therapy to make that change. She won in court, and she won $100,000 against the district for keeping it secret from her and trying to then reinforce her change without letting the parent know. It's going to happen. But here's the real thing. So the legal question, since the school district has already been sued and lost, here's the real question. Can a parent then sue the state of California, since the school administration was following the laws or in fear of lawsuits by the state of California and Mr. Bonta? Yeah. So down in Chino, I'm up in Sacramento, down in Chino, if something goes haywire They can say, well, you know what? Not only can I sue the district, I can sue the state of California. After all, the district is under mandate by the California legislature and by the attorney general that we have to keep our mouth shut and not tell parents of the change. But it's only in favor of LGBTQ. Hence, and here's where I end, what are you going to do about it? So that your child does not get stuck in this vicious circle. Well, there's my little piece. Going to send it out.